Welcome to Vegan Finds, where we're going to turn this into
this vegan pork loin and green bean casserole.
Hey, welcome to Vegan Finds, where we're going to be making a vegan pork loin. As you can hear, the mushrooms are sizzling because, as you can imagine, I forgot to do something when I did the initial opening shot, which is, guess what? Show off my haircut. No, that's not it. I forgot to turn on the mic. So, we're going to get started. Obviously, I'm already starting. I got some mushrooms in the pan, 12 ounces. They are sauteing. I got some short grain rice on the stove right now. I need 2 cups cooked. So, there's that. I'm going to tell you all that, and you'll see in a minute. Okay, so in my pan, I'm heating up some vegan butter, and I'm going to saute 12 ounces of mushrooms, and I just want them cooked through. I've got my rice cooking behind me, making 2 cups of short grain rice, and as part of the cooking liquid for the rice, I added some vegan beef bouillon and a little of the Trader Joe's Umami powder, about a tablespoon for that. You're not going to need any additional salt for this dish because both of those items are salty enough. So I'm going to cook these down until they just release their liquid. Once that's done, I'm going to set them aside, and then I'm going to start to assemble all the ingredients that I need to make the final pork loin assembly. And then once it's together, we're going to put it in the oven, and we'll show you exactly how to do that as well, obviously. Okay, so as you can see, the mushrooms are just about done. They're starting to dry out. You want them to basically give off as much liquid as possible, because this is all going to go into a food processor to blend. And you don't want your ingredients to be too wet. So, when we're ready to start food processing our ingredients, we need to have a spice blend. So right here in my little dish, I've got garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I am adding some additional salt just in case. This is going to be a fairly sizable piece of vegan pork. I don't want it under seasoned. I'm also going to be adding a half a teaspoon of dried sage and a half a teaspoon of rosemary. I don't know if I have dried rosemary. I definitely have fresh rosemary. So if I'm using fresh, I'm going to double that to a teaspoon. So now that the mushrooms are done, I'm going to go check on the rice, since Alexa's telling me to check on the rice, and I'll be back with the next steps. As you can see, the rice is perfectly cooked. Tastes delicious. I mean, I could eat the whole thing myself. I need 2 cups of this, so the rest of it might go to me. And I'm just going to let this cool down before I start the whole process. You don't want to do this while the rice is blazing hot. It will become a hot, gluey mess. Okay, so into my bowl of my food processor, I've got the rice, the mushrooms, 2 tablespoons of grated beet. That's going to add color. Now I'm going to add our spice blend, which is the 2 teaspoons of salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. A half a teaspoon of ground sage, and I'm going to be adding some fresh rosemary to this as well. I'm going to add a teaspoon of fresh rosemary. So I'm going to go blend this up and start the next step of the pork loin assembly. One ingredient I forgot to mention is liquid smoke. We're going to be brushing that onto our rice paper wrappers to just get an enhanced flavor as if you'd cook this over a wood fire. So this is applewood flavored smoke, which is a favorite smoking wood of mine. So I shall return once the meat has been made. What the ground pork looks like once it's been blended. When you are blending this in your food processor, you just keep pulsing it until it gets that consistency of ground meat, and you can see it kind of really looks like ground meat, even down to like the white flecks of fat that you would find in a ground pork. So we're going to start to the assembly process. So part of that is going to be making a little garlic wash. Oh shoot, I totally forgot to add that. Oops. So one thing I forgot to mention was that I added 8 ounces of tempeh to this as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to just basically take that block of tempeh and cut it up into, 1-inch, half-inch cubes and put it in with the mix and pulse that all together. I didn't want you to leave that out because that's the protein component of our dish. So I'll be back with the final assembly and get this ready for the oven. Okay, so we coated our pork loin with some garlic, thyme, and oil just to add some additional flavor. And what we're doing is we're taking some rice paper and we are going to start the wrapping process for this. We're going to run it under warm water until the rice paper becomes pliable. Should take about 15 seconds. Then we're going to add some additional garlic oil and a few drops of liquid smoke to this. So let's see. There we go. We're getting that. So I have some liquid smoke in this here, which I'm dipping my brush in, and then I'm going to dip it in some of this garlic and thyme oil as well. And we're going to just quickly brush our stuff. Turn it over. There we go. And get that coated as best we can. All right, that looks good.
Okay, I need you to
Tilt it.
stop,
How about the spatula?
because now you're getting air in it. Okay. Now, hand me the next piece.
All right, so we're going on to the next piece. Do the dipping process one more time. All right. And she's back. Which side do you want me to do?
I don't care. Just.
Okay. There we go.
I would add it a little to the top. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to tuck. And now you're going to have to tie.
We have open space over here.
Well, then I need to get another piece, don't I? Okay.
I would use a small piece.
Yeah, so hand me a small piece.
Here's our pork loin. We're going to coat it again with some of the garlic and oil thyme mixture. And we're going to put this in a 425-degree oven. We're going to show you what we're going to be putting it in because we're actually cooking some additional items here tonight. Okay, so we've put our pork loin into the pan. Now we tied this up. That's more just for effect. We've added some fresh thyme on top. We basted it again with the garlic oil and dried thyme mixture. In our pan, we've got some carrots, we got some potatoes, we have some peaches, we have some chipolline onions from the farmer's market that we picked up today. Did we get the potatoes from the farmer's market?
We did get the potatoes from the farmer's market, and we got some carrots today from a farmer's
Right,
market.
the carrots are from Martinet Farms.
In Hillsboro.
In Hillsboro.
The potatoes are from the Summit Farmer's Market, and the onions are from Cornucopia at the farmer's market.
Okay, so we encourage you to buy local, go to your farmers markets, and you know, help the farmers as much as you can, buy as much as you can, and you know, we're ready. The oven is preheating. Once it's ready to go, we're going to pop this in the oven. I'm not sure how long it's supposed to go into the oven for.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. That's a long time. Hope you're hungry. All right, so there you have it. So we're going to cook this for 45 minutes, and once it's done, we'll let it stand for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to serve it all together. So you can check it out soon as possible.
So we are going to make a side dish to go along with our pork loin. We are going to make mushrooms and green beans with a feta cream sauce, topped off with some. Oh, the mic is in the shot, people. The mic is in the shot. So we are going to make a feta creamy base for this mushroom and green bean casserole. So we are going to cook our mushrooms, and we're going to let them start to cook, and then we're going to add our onion and our Viola Life and our green beans once the mushrooms start to cook. So now we're going to add our onion, and we're just going to cook this down. So this recipe is actually going to be posted out of order because we're getting such a response that people want the recipe. And when I posted it on my Facebook, people are like, I want that recipe now. Alexa, stop timer. And our pork loin is done. Just took the pork loin out of the oven. And oh my God, we're going to let that rest for a few minutes and finish our mushroom and green bean dish. So to this, I'm going to add a little dry thyme. I think that thyme really brings out the flavor of mushrooms. I don't know why. So as you can see, our mushrooms are cooked. We are going to add our green beans. And we are going to start chopping in that feta. We want to make it nice and creamy. So as you can see, our feta is nice and melted, and we're just gonna let it finish off. We're gonna get our crispy onions, and we're gonna top them off with the crispy onions. Okay, so Stuart's very particular about how he likes his green beans, so I left them with a little bit of bite. If you don't like them that way, cook them to the way you like.
I like them crunchy.
She does like them crunchy. And we're just going to top it off with the onions, and then we're going to plate all of this and show you that roasted beautiful pork. And here's our finished product. Look how beautiful that looks. We have a little bit of that peach chutney we made during Peach Week. Some peaches and potatoes in there with that beautiful charred onion. And we are going to get to eating this. So we will see you next time. If you like these kind of videos, hit the subscribe, leave a comment down below. Give us a like, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook at Vegan Finds with an S because he screwed up. And share this video with your friends. Thanks.